Hello, you are welcome again as we look at the case study number 7 today. We'll be looking at starting from a GPB NZD. As usual, we'll look from the monthly time frame down to the daily. So let's take a look at the candlestick formation over here. That's on the monthly. From the monthly, we have our month high. Then we have our month low. Alright. Then by the time we look at the chart continuously to the top, we could take this as our month high. And we could also take this as our month low. Alright. Although on the contrary, if we are to follow the full pattern of candlestick formation for a perfect reversal, okay, this particular candlestick does not meet our criteria for a real valid pullback. I'll make a summary video about this later. Although I just want to use this as a case scenario, as a case study, because this particular candlestick formation kind of pullback is not our ideal type of pullback to determine if this will be our real month high and month low. So usually what we expect here is, after we have seen this type of formation, okay, we would have wanted price to make a reversal. After price has taken out the previous month high, then what do we do? Go to the weekly time frame. Now on the weekly time frame, we can see that price has been making series of pullback, then this one and that. Then we can determine that this is our previous week high. That point is our previous week high, and then this point will be our previous week low, right? So, and what we want is that when we go to the corresponding daily time frame from the monthly, weekly, and then to the daily, we want our kind of reversal candlestick pattern to come into play, and this trade we are going to be looking for a sell. All right, so but let's go to the daily. Now on the daily, we are going to play the chart and look for our candlestick reversal pattern. I have not seen it yet. It's not yet. We haven't seen it. Okay, we can see that this is not a valid one. This is where we have seen our valid candlestick formation for reversal. So therefore, in this trade, what do? We take our trade, put our sell indication there, and then as usually we look for our 1 to 3. Okay, let's play the chart and see how it goes. You see, our 1 to 3 has already played out. I've made different examples and case study about this type of our trading, but what I wanted to point out is based on our last week's study about looking for the precautions. Okay, the precautions we ought to look for when we are trading our candlestick reversal pattern or for continuation. You can see what happened here. We know usually that when the month is selling, okay, we want the week also to sell, and we want the day also to sell, making us to have a very good confluence. But at the same time, we know that when the month high has been taken out, we want our candlestick formation to form for a reversal to also enter on the weekly time frame. Although I have said severally that I don't enter trade on the weekly for forex trading. I only enter trade if I should enter on the weekly on the stock market or crypto. But on forex, I prefer to enter my trade on the daily. Now you see what is happening here. When price has already taken out the previous month high, what are we expecting on the weekly? We now expect our candlestick formation. You can see this our candlestick formation on the weekly that has already formed, right? then this will be our weak supply zone. What should we do here? We were supposed to sell this trade and look for our 1 to 3. But as you can see, this was on the weekly. Although we are not trading the weekly, but from the study we made last week talking about precaution, we can see that after our candlestick formation has already formed, the next candlestick that was going down, this next candlestick should have tapped into this range and continue to sell. Then we can now use this particular supply zone on the weekly to sell this trade. But you can see what happened before this particular candlestick tap into this our supply zone. It now came and tapped into this counter trend weak demand zone. Okay, so with this, meaning that this our weak supply zone for us to sell is no longer valid. The only time it will be valid is after price has tapped into this demand zone, we want it to go up a little, fail this demand zone, weak demand zone, and then it cannot go back to this supply zone and continue to sell. This would have been a very massive trade, but with this candlestick tapping into this demand zone already, we are not going to be taking this supply zone anymore, because there's a possibility that this demand zone will invalidate this our supply zone. Now let's see what played out. Now you can see what then played out. This demand zone automatically now price has now used it to invalidate this our supply zone, even when this our supply zone has already taken our previous week high, previous month high, giving us our candlestick formation. Okay, previous month high taking out 1 confirmation. On the weekly we have seen our candlestick confirmation to set this trade, 2nd confirmation, but only this demand zone invalidated all our confirmation. So that is one of the reasons why we have to be very cautious while taking this type of trade. All right, now this is the current trade that price is making. What should we do here? We should be expecting, this is the previous week high, price took the week high, and then this will now be the present week low. So what are we expecting here? By the time we go to the daily time frame, we want our candlestick formation to be happening there. Let's go to the daily time frame. Now we can see that on the daily time frame, this is our candlestick formation. Price has already given us the type of candlestick we want for a reversal. So therefore we are going to be taking this trade. This is a very good trade. Then looking for just 1 to 3 as our usual risk to reward, risking 1 to get 3. So this trade will be very good for us to take. All we want now is for price to come back into this supply zone, or the daily supply zone, and continue to sell and take out this previous week low and probably get to our 1 to 3 point target. So let's look at one more example. All right, for one more example, we can see on this chart that this is a silver chart. I gave this signal on my channel, and that's I post this signal on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube, and even on my Twitter. But later I'm realizing there could be a possibility for this trade not to go to fail, that's not to go to our direction. Now we know already by analyzing this trade from the monthly time frame, we know that this is the overall previous week high, previous month high. Then we can see that this is the overall previous month low. So when we have this, what we'll be looking for, since price has taken out the previous month high, we want a kind of reversal for price to come down to some levels before it continues going up. All right, so this trade, what we will do next, we'll go to the weekly time frame and see what price is doing. We can see that on the weekly time frame, price gave us this signal on the weekly, it failed. All right, that's not our concern right now because that's still very far. Let's come to the present week high, previous week high, and then we have the previous week low. All right, Now what do? We'll now go to the corresponding daily time frame, and on the daily time frame we have seen that this, according to the signal I gave, this has met our criteria that this is the previous week high. I mean, this is not meeting our entry because we've seen our candlestick pattern formed. So we want price to come and give us just 1 to 30 in this trade, but currently on this signal it is not looking good. So I'm kind of considering or contemplating what could be the reason. This is one of the patience required from us being a swing trader. All right, we can see that on the time frame, this is previous day high, previous day low. All right, and from our master demand trading videos, you can see that automatically it's a demand zone. So if this trade fails, I might see that it was this extended demand zone that is now causing this trade to fail, because our candlestick has already tapped into this extended demand zone before it now went up to tap into our confirmed supply zone. All right, so I'm still not shaking. All my trade, I have to leave them, is a win or a lose. I don't usually take partials because I don't understand it yet. So this trade is still ongoing, although not looking good. We are in a lot of drawdown, so maybe the market will be kind to us, calm down and continue to sell. Let's see how it plays out, or if the market then take us out, we'll look for another trade. That is all for this case study for today. Have a great time. Bye.